You're about to approve a product promotion. The workbook says the product's ready, but nobody in the meeting can explain which stock records, formulas, or manual adjustments produce that answer. If the availability evidence is stale or means something different, leadership can commit budget and operational capacity to a promotion the business cannot safely support. I'm Gavin Summers. In this episode, we'll inspect the hidden logic inside one spreadsheet and decide whether its output is safe to use.
Episode 3 traced a disputed KPI from source activity to a business decision. Here we are not mapping that whole path again. We are zooming into one familiar handoff, the spreadsheet where business meaning is encoded through formulas, lookups, notes, and judgment. The question is whether that local logic is explicit enough to trust. Brightside Bikes is an explicitly fictional composite, not a client example. Its workbook supports one bounded decision, whether to promote a selected product or hold it for review. The first sheet looks reassuring. It shows the product, a readiness result, and a decision status. But a visible answer is not yet visible evidence. Start on that decision sheet, ask what action the status is intended to permit. In this workbook, ready is meant to support promotion planning, not to guarantee fulfillment, predict demand, or approve spending by itself. That boundary matters because one confident label can otherwise be stretched across questions it was never designed to answer. Now select the readiness cell and expose its formula. It combines an availability test, a component constraint flag, and an operational review flag. The calculation is not just spreadsheet mechanics, it is a compact policy. It decides which evidence counts, which exception blocks readiness, and which state appears on the decision sheet. Translate that formula into complete business sentences. A product is marked ready only when the workbook finds the required stock evidence, finds no unresolved component constraint, and finds no active review flag. This wording is illustrative for the fictional workbook, not a universal promotion rule. The formula and the sentence should describe the same meaning. Next, check the grain. The decision sheet has one row for a product, while the supporting stock sheet may contain several records for locations, components, or reporting dates. A formula that sums every matching row can mean something very different from a rule that selects the latest valid record. Grain determines what the result actually represents. The workbook also uses lookups to connect the selected product to supporting records. One lookup maps the product identifier to the components needed for that product. Another connects those components to stock evidence. Those relationships are part of the semantic layer because they define which operational facts are allowed to influence the promotion decision. Inspects the lookup keys, not only the returned cells. Ask whether identifiers are unique, whether unmapped items stay visible, and whether a missing match becomes a warning or a reassuring blank. If an old mapping points to the wrong component, the formula can calculate perfectly and still give the decision sheet the wrong meaning. Now we reach the manual judgment. A team member may know that an operational update has not yet reached the workbook. Recording a temporary review flag can be reasonable. Human judgment is not automatically a defect. The risk appears when the reason, evidence, time, and authority for that intervention are hidden. A controlled judgment field needs boundaries. Use a defined choice rather than free-form status text. Require a rationale, evidence reference, recorded time, and review point. Preserve the calculated result beside the adjusted decision state. That separation lets a reviewer see what the workbook derived, what a person changed, and then inspect refresh timing, which supporting sheets update automatically, which depend on an export, and which require a person to confirm completion. The workbook should show when each material input was refreshed and when the readiness result was evaluated. A recent save time does not prove that every source inside the file is recent. Put the caveat beside the decision, not on a forgotten tab. This workbook can summarize the evidence it has received. It cannot establish current physical availability after its stated cutoff, confirm that every mapping is complete, or remove the need for operational review. Those limits change how confidently the readiness status can be used. Ownerships is not one name attached to the file. The source owner is accountable for the operational input. The definition owner decides what promotion ready means. The reporting custodian maintains the workbook and its checks. The decision owner chooses whether to proceed. These roles may belong to different people and each role should be explicit. Make change rights equally clear. Who may alter the readiness definition, replace a source, edit a lookup relationship, approve a manual judgment, or change the workbook's permitted use. A technically small edit can alter business, meaning material changes need an authorized decision, a visible version, and a check before the revised result supports action. That brings us to the minimum reporting contract. Keep it close to the decision sheet. State the decision, the workbook supports, the readiness definition, the output grain, and the permitted use. Name the authoritative inputs, the material formula logic, and the lookup relationships. This is enough structure to make the hidden rules inspectable. Add refresh timing, cutoffs, and caveats. Record the ownership roles and change rights. Show the manual judgment fields, their required evidence, and their expiry or review conditions. Finally, name the reasonableness checks, such as unmapped identifiers, duplicate keys, missing inputs, and disagreement between the calculated result and the displayed decision state. Now apply a three-way decision lens. Continue only when the required evidence is present. The formula meaning matches the agreed definition. Lookup relationships pass their checks. Any manual judgment is authorized, and the inputs are fresh enough for the decision. Continue does not mean certainty. It means the known conditions support this bounded. Investigate when the output may still be useful, but a material question remains. That could be an unmapped identifier, an unexpected duplicate, a refresh that needs confirmation, or a judgment awaiting evidence. Name the question, its owner, and the evidence needed. Do not turn uncertainty into a reassuring status while the check is open. Hold when a gap could reverse the decision, when nobody can explain a material rule, when a required input is outside its safe timing window, or when an unauthorized change has altered the logic. Holding is not failure. It protects budget and operational capacity until the workbook is safe enough for this promotion decision.
The answer is not to replace every spreadsheet. A spreadsheet can remain the right working surface when its decision-critical meaning is explicit, owned, and checkable. The practical shift is from trusting the file because it looks familiar to trusting a bounded result because its definition, relationships, judgment, timing, rights, and checks can be inspected.
If a spreadsheet can change a decision, inspect its formula meaning, look up relationships, manual judgment, timing, caveats, ownership, and change rights. Use the reporting contract to choose continue, investigate, or hold. Read your spreadsheet is your semantic layer linked below. In episode 5, we'll show why AI needs trusted metrics, not just more data, and what must be governed before an assistant can safely answer a business question.